Morgan Parker is a man on a mission to ride his motorcycle from Hong Kong to Brisbane, Australia on a voyage that will see him travel through 10 countries and in the process raise awareness about 10 of the most important charities across the region. It's an adventure that'll test his limits during a trip that'll be exciting, dangerous, eye-opening and always breathtaking. Join him each week as he travels wheel to wheel. With a fixer on his tail, we join Morgan as he tries to cross the Cambodia border on his way to see New Hope in Siem Reap.
With the stalking fixer on my tail, I was anxious to get safely out of Laos and into Cambodia. Riding south on the rocky roads to the remote border gate, I prayed things would go smoothly with the officials and my paperwork. I've just crossed over from Laos to Cambodia through what is a very small, underdeveloped crossing. It's the best crossing I've ever had. The whole process only took 25 minutes. Could not have hoped for anything better. It was exciting to be in Cambodia, knowing I would get to see the famous temples of Angkor and above all, visit New Hope, a crucial charity providing a myriad of services to children and families desperately in need. This is, after all, a country still plagued by corruption and the aftermath of the Khmer Rouge's regime a mere 30 years ago. I've been basically snaking my way down the Mekong River through Stung Tren, now at Kratai, and then eventually on to Phnom Penh in the next day or so. After getting out on the Mekong River in search of Kratai's star attraction, the white Irrawaddy dolphin, I eagerly jumped back in the saddle and headed down a 120-kilometre narrow dirt road. Between singing to myself and unavoidable run-ins with other travellers, it was a thriller minute and I loved it, even when I had to make the impromptu water crossing.
How deep? This girl has just showed me how deep it is to go across here. Thank you.
This morning I'm going to be riding with the fellow BMW adventurers.
My name is Ronnie Borragera. I'm traveling around the world on my motorcycle and going to be doing or visiting about 110 countries.
I'm Chantal Wilson from Canada.
She's the boss. I'm second in command and driver, Trevor from Canada. Been married 30 years and still going strong, and I'm following it.
The trio have countless enviable tales from their extensive global adventuring.
This is my 75th country and I've done about 14 months. So I've still got almost 2 years left.
Spending time with these guys helped me put everything in my own life into better perspective.
I went from a very stressful position where I had thousands of people working for me and just closed the door and all that and walked away from it. I don't think I'll ever get back to that because this has certainly taught me that you can live with far less. You actually don't need a house and a car and all the other crap that goes with it, modern day life. We live on far less. I'm living on 6 t-shirts, 2 pairs of shorts. I mean, you get into that.
Riding with other adventurers added a new, relaxing dimension to the expedition. For the first time, I could share the burden of cutting through Southeast Asia's chaotic traffic. Cambodia has a long history dating back thousands of years. After brief independence in the 1950s, the Vietnam War gave rise to the Khmer Rouge in 1975. Making the most of a widespread famine, the regime, led by Pol Pot, destroyed anything and everything that was remotely Western. It's estimated that by 1984, the Khmer Rouge had killed 1/3 of the population, leaving its infrastructure in tatters. You're talking about Holocausts that only happened 25, 30 to 35 years ago. Like, this is in my lifetime that this stuff is happening. So the ramifications, the implications of that sort of regime is clearly present in society today. It used to be a high school, but Pol Pot's security forces turned it into a torture chamber. Here, an estimated 17,000 intellectuals suffered barbaric treatment before being killed and tossed into the killing fields, a brutal reminder of Cambodia's recent past. It was all sobering, to say the least, but it came time to leave Phnom Penh and make my way to Siem Reap and New Hope. There, I would also say goodbye to my fellow riders and hello to my family. Yeah! The next morning, it was a short ride out past the 5-star hotels of central Siem Reap and down a dirt road to New Hope. I was struck by the stark contrast just a few hundred metres away as I descended into the filth and poverty of the slums. But the smile returned to my face as I was greeted by 200 cheering children.
What a welcome! Oh, yeah. Fantastic, it was amazing. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having us here. We are very, very excited to be here in Cambodia and at New Hope.
Little did I know, the moment I stepped into New Hope's surroundings, my life would be changed forever.
Hello.
I call New Hope the ultimate charity's charity. In the shadows of Angkor Wat, last year alone, New Hope had 762 children attend classes. But the problems run deeper. In order to get the kids to school, New Hope discovered that it must provide food, clothing, and medical care to their extended families. Each year, the charity now treats over 11,000 patients in its medical clinic. New Hope has truly become a one-stop shop. New Hope was started by one local man, Kemshaw, a 29-year-old who was part of a family of 10, whose family was so poor they ate rats to survive. Through sheer determination, he learnt 4 languages and realised that education is the way out of hopelessness.
I can say that I promise to start the project or the school to provide free education and provide for the hospital and provide the food, that everything that I think.
Welcome to everyone once again.
Kerry, an Australian, is another key part of the organisation. She joined after seeing what Kemshaw was trying to achieve on his own.
This place was filthy. It was like one big tip, basically. Karaoke girls everywhere. Their children were naked in the streets. People were hungry. And this, I'd never seen anywhere else like this.
Kerry believes she can create awareness for New Hope on a global scale, so it receives the donations it desperately needs.
Our main aim is to basically keep the adults and the grandparents alive and feed them as well, while we educate the children. So we provide education to the children, food to the families, and provide free medical care.
The more I listened, the clearer this inextricable link between delivering education and providing essential life services became.
Well, we first started off with education, and we thought, well, education is the key. But how do you get children to come and educate if they're the main income providers for their families,
Right.
collecting rubbish?
You got
Most
this-
of the parents are sick.
Right.
So you've got a health issue there, you've got a food issue. So it's just extended from there. So that is why we created the medical centre and then the outreach as well.
With years of experience, Kerry and Kemsaw understand the challenges faced by their community and how to achieve results.
When I go in to tell the parent how education important, and some parents say, Kemsaw, I'm not, how can I send my kid to education because I was starving. I don't have a ability to earn money to provide for the clothes, for a bicycle, for the school supply, and I need my kid go into baking. I write for the background about the family to find a sponsorship by the Just Giving. I say, if I can looking to find a sponsor to sponsor the rice, but make sure my condition is you have to send your kid to the education.
Compounding all of this is another issue. Women who are caught in the cycle of poverty find themselves in the sex trade, leaving themselves at risk for unwanted pregnancies and the potential for AIDS. In the face of these difficulties, each year New Hope provides over 400 parents with family planning, childcare and sex education. New Hope is now helping these prostitutes find alternate ways to provide for their families through basic vocational skills courses. The clinics, staffed by professionals, see a myriad of ailments that are simple to cure, but shocking to see.
The growth has grown so rapidly, the skin is starting to split. This lady came to us a couple of days ago with all of these huge growths all over her body, more here, covered. We have no idea what they are.
And extreme cases of cancer. How old is she?
About 12, and unfortunately her parents believed that they didn't understand about cancer, so she was using Khmer medicine for like 6 or 8 months and the tumour spread right up to here.
Lost her arm.
And lost her arm.
Domestic violence, facial swelling, leg rashes, it's all in a day's work here. And that's not including the homes that New Hope volunteers visit on a regular basis.
To put it in perspective, this property has water which comes from a pump.
Yes.
There's no power.
No. There's
No sewage. No toilet.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
But we've given them a bicycle, so at least they've got transport other than
Right.
walking.
During our time at New Hope, it seemed like we'd seen it all. The old lady coming in for rice, the hopelessly ill patients and families in feces-filled shacks. But there can, and in some cases is, a brighter future. And that's why this organisation continues. And New Hope's work has garnered the attention of international volunteers from around the world who are moved by what they see.
Amazing how they've actually done this whole project, and it's, I think that, more volunteers should definitely join up.
The most gratifying thing about my job here is getting to know that we are giving hope to people who were initially hopeless.
During our visit, Aria and I participated in one of New Hope's cornerstone programs, the monthly Rice Drop, which benefits 210 desperate families. It was a moving experience for us to look directly into the eyes of those most in need.
Some people say to us, why are you giving them rice? Why? It's the old story about, you should be giving them a rod and teaching them how to fish.
Don't give them fish, teach them how to fish,
We're doing both.
Yeah.
Basically, you can see with most of the families that I've introduced you to, the sickness the disabilities, the illiteracy, these people are working. They're earning as much money as they possibly physically can earn. They still can't feed their families.
Yeah.
So while we're teaching them to fish or teaching the children how to fish, who's going to feed them?
You've got to keep them alive.
Right.
That's right. New Hope receives no government help and relies on donations and volunteers from around the world. It's an organisation built on compassion and commitment to help others.
I love the children. We've got 12 children who have to live with us in the shelter home, and I love them to death. I just love waking up every morning and seeing them and giving them big hugs, and I don't really think past that. I don't think that we've rescued them from their environment. I don't think past that. I just enjoy being with them. But when I look into the eyes of the mothers that come in that have been abused and raped, that are sick and are dying, and they hug us with such gratitude, and I know how they feel, and yeah, that's what keeps me going.
And for the inspirational founder, Kemsaw, his vision is simple.
I would like to see the people not starving anymore. I would like to create set up a business to help people, and in the future, many people and much better and better.
Kemsaw, Kerry, I want to thank you for the time that you've allowed me to be here with you. I can't say how affected I am. Thank you.
I really thank you very much, Mark, and your family. I really miss you very much, and thank you for your hope and raise money for support New Hope. I really thank you very much and wish you all good luck. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's overwhelmed, Morgan.
Thank you for giving me hope as well.
He can't, believe it. Thank you very much, Morgan.
On this expedition, I've seen a lot of desperate situations, but none more grave than what I've witnessed here with New Hope Cambodia. Lives in tatters, despair everywhere you look, each story worse than the last. But through education, this cycle of poverty can be broken. New Hope's difference is that they're keeping people alive with food, shelter and clothing, and in particular medical care for all the terrible disease and illness that's affecting these people. You can't break the cycle without education. You can't educate unless people can come here and learn at the New Hope School. I'm absolutely blown away by the number of stories here brought to life in such vivid, intimate detail by Kemsaw and Kerry, the principles that I've come to know and love. These people are changing the world. I celebrate them. They're champions in my mind.
After our deeply emotional time with New Hope, it was time to fulfill one of my lifelong dreams, seeing the temples of Angkor. To say that people have high expectations when arriving at Angkor Wat, I think is an understatement. No matter how well you try and maintain your excitement, the arrival of Angkor Wat is something that I'll always remember.
Here we are, the moment has arrived. We're finally at Angkor Wat in Cambodia, one of the 7 wonders of the World Heritage Site. I'm here with my family and our tour guide for the day, Mare. Thanks for being with us, Mare. I cannot wait to go and see this 200-hectare site. Let's go.
The old adage, they sure don't make them like they used to, certainly holds true in the case of Angkor Wat. Built over a period of 37 years during the 12th century, the sheer size, attention to detail and variety make this a must-see travel destination, without a doubt.
So Angkor Wat gets 2.5 million visitors per year?
Yeah, per year, right.
From all over the world?
Yeah, all over the world.
That's incredible.
It's hot and crowded throughout, but the temples are remarkable in every way. We could have spent days exploring them. Absolutely mystical scene here in Ta Prohm.
Yeah, Ta
This looks
Prohm.
very familiar. Why is this so familiar to us all?
This is a famous spot from the movie of the Tomb Raider. And we can see one of the spong tree inside covered by the triangular figs. Many roots hang down. You can see two different trees, one inside and one outside.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
How many other trees are like that in this particular temple?
Cannot count
Many,
it.
yeah.
Many of them.
It's like the jungle is
Yes.
slowly consuming this temple. It's got an awesome look about it.
Yeah.
One of the most fascinating temples for me was Bayon. So we're only 2 kilometres away from Angkor Wat at
Yeah.
Bayon. This looks so different to what we saw there.
Yes, that's this one of the Buddhist temple is a bit different from the Hindu temple. One of the building in the middle of Angkor Thom that we call Bayon, B-A-Y-O-N. One of the complex, it was very complicated, many towers, and each tower have 4 smiling faces. In that time, the Buddhist monk, they represent for 4 affections of Buddhism.
Right.
That means the 4 smiling faces, they're dedicated to the compassion, sympathy, equanimity, and patience. All the 4 smiling
Good
faces.
virtues to have. I gotta say, this is really an intimate feeling here, very mystic, and I really love it. In fact, I have to say I prefer it.
Yes.
Anything I've seen so far, it's amazing. But there's a sinister side to Angkor Wat. We learned that a company in Vietnam actually owns its commercial rights, and this made my blood boil. And now 70% of the ticket price that you pay, which is $20 US a day, to visit one of the 7 wonders of the world, and really the key jewel in the crown of Cambodia, goes to a Vietnam petroleum company. And ultimately, $2 out of your 20, that's 10%, goes to the preservation and improvement of this incredible landmark for the world. Siem Reap's other big tourist attraction is the floating village. I got no idea what to expect or what it's all about, but we've got a boat and we're going to check it out. It's a remarkable testament to the adaptability of these people who actually reside on the lake, and most definitely worth a visit. You spend a bit of time in Cambodia and you can't help but have mixed feelings. The tragic past, recent past of this country has created a very complicated today. And I fear that the conditions here today will continue for years ahead. It's difficult to see a way forward for this country. The work that New Hope's doing to educate the young is one part of a much bigger puzzle for a successful, hopeful future for Cambodia. Out here on this lake where you see these village people living is really symptomatic of a broken society. It's only 30 years ago that the Khmer Rouge reigned their terror through these lands, killing people everywhere, breaking families apart, and taking hope away from this population. The lack of education, the low levels of literacy, and a general lack of industrious nature that you see elsewhere across Asia fills me with concern, and it makes the work that New Hope's doing that much more critical so that hopefully the next generation of Cambodians can find a way forward. An unwelcome visit to our hotel by the stalker's local associate forced us to make new plans. We decided to leave early and take an alternate route to the border in Thailand. As I rode away, I knew these days in Cambodia would be etched in my memory forever.
Emotionally and physically drained, with 5 countries down and 5 to go, how will Morgan handle everything that Thailand has to throw at him? Find out next week on Wheel to Wheel. For more information, please visit wheel2wheel.tv.